Welcome back to The Owner Seat, the show for operators, franchisors, and franchisees and founders who want the real playbook for where fitness is actually going and how to build a model that doesn't get left behind. Today's episode is about a shift most gym operators still haven't fully accepted. Fitness access is moving from forced memberships to flexible, on-demand behavior. And the winners won't be the brands with the loudest marketing. They'll be the ones who own distribution, keep unit economics intact, and make access frictionless. My guest today is Pawel Kielkowski, co-founder and CEO of Fitual. Pawel isn't a fitness influencer founder. He's an operator with a real finance and systems background, including experience in asset management and building automation analytics that makes businesses run faster. And Fitual isn't a shiny app story. It's a distribution wedge, a marketplace that helps users find gyms fast, pay for access simply, and helps operators capture incremental revenue without giving away the farm and commissions. Think ClassPass, which is exactly why it's getting traction across large, growing partner networks. So today we're going behind the scenes on why the 30-day membership isn't the only default anymore, why aggregator economics like ClassPass and GymPass are broken for gym operators, how Fitual, the solution, thinks about partner incentives, pricing controls, and scale, what multi-unit owners and franchisors should be doing now as access models change, and what the next 2 to 3 years could look like for the modern fitness business model. Pawel, so excited to have you on. Welcome to the Owner Seat podcast, sir.
Thank you for the invite, Albert. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Well, let's start with the big thesis. And I like to say it. I know I'm more aggressive out there. I'm a little edgy. I think this is the ClassPass killer. Why do you believe the future of fitness won't be built on the traditional 30-day membership?
I think that, the world has changed a lot. I think, after the pandemic, we've seen quite a big rebound in the travel segment. And, there is a new customer that emerged. We are traveling more, business travel, digital nomads, corporate relocations.
Right.
And this is a growing group that needs the access to fitness, right? And the access they need is flexible. I wouldn't go that far, as you said, regarding the ClassPass killer. I think the models are complementary, right?
Awesome.
So, my thesis kind of is that if you are an operator, if you are a gym owner, you want to diversify your revenue stream, right?
Right.
So, if there are many different aggregators that work for you, that's better, right? You want to have as many as possible so you don't have an over-reliance on one revenue stream. And I'm saying that because I'm Polish, right? Fitual is, comes from Europe. And we have other aggregators in Europe working. And we've seen many stories where over-reliance on one of them ended very badly for the gyms, right? So my thesis is more like, if you can diversify your revenue stream, the distribution channels, acquisition channels through the aggregators, maybe not only one, but some of them, this is beneficial for your business, right? Allows you for more flexibility when taking decisions and negotiating contracts.
Absolutely. And I want to come back to at times when I chat about this day pass, guest workout fee, right? The usage based or even dynamic pricing. A lot of the owners I talk about, especially when they bring up ClassPass and some others, they talk about the cannibalization. But I want to talk about how Fitual has overcome that. And before we get there, do you mind explaining what is Fitual? If I'm a multi-gym owner listening to this, what is the user? Who is the customer? What does the gym do? And where does the revenue come from?
Yeah, I mean, the cannibalization problem is kind of at the core of our product, but and this is why we decided to target that specific niche, right? So basically, what I did at the beginning with the team, going back this 2 years when Fitual started, I picked up the phone and I called a few hundred gyms, mostly around Europe, let's say, right?
Yep.
Because I was trying to understand what is the main problem from their perspective? What do they need in a solution like this? Because I knew that solutions like that existed. I used them also from the perspective of the user, right? But I wanted to build something different, and the cannibalization was the main issue that always came up in these conversations. And this basically led to the creation of Fitual, which is a global gym network, a global gym map
Right.
that targets specifically travelers. Currently, we have over 700 locations in over 32 countries. I would say that the vast majority of that is Europe at the moment. So the way it works in practice, let's say you are going for a trip to Berlin next week, right? And you have your gym at home, which is, your gym in your home city, which is Warsaw. You go there 2, 3, 4 times a week, you have your routine, and then you're going for this trip and you don't want the routine to break, right? You want to keep up your training. So you land in Berlin, you open the Fitual app, and you see a map of Fitual partner gyms, right? You can see there all the information in English, you can compare the gyms in between each other, and you can generate a one-day pass with a discount compared to the walk-in rate. I generate the pass, I go to the gym, I show up at the reception as a client, the gym knows that I'm coming from Fitual because they received an email, they charge me the price, so the gym processes the payment, I go and train. And that's it, right? This is how the process looks like in practice.
And how does that differ, right? What's the differentiator between Class Pass or Hustle or Gym Pass and some of these other aggregator models? There's a big difference here, right?
Yeah, I would say the main difference is in the model that we create for the gyms, right? Because and it comes down to the 100 phone calls that we did. That the main problem was the cannibalization. So we target a person that usually doesn't live within, I don't know, a couple kilometers from your gym, right? So he or she wouldn't normally go to your gym anyway.
Mhm.
So this is a completely new lead or completely new customer that we are sending your way, right? And you can upsell them on whatever you want, then PT sessions, bars, and etc. So I think the main difference is the type of customer that we are bringing you. The other differences in the way we operate, and we were able to scale at that rate over the past 2 years, is how easy it is to join the Fitual network. Right? Basically, our thesis was that it needs to be as simple as possible,
Right.
both from the user side and from the gym side, to join the network, right? So there is no integration that you need to put into your system, IT, operational work, training stuff. We try to simplify it as much as possible. The gyms fills in a short form on our website, like you would sign up for a newsletter, and then our team will onboard your gym within 24 hours. This is, let's say, what we normally communicate. But I would say that right now we are able to do it within 3 to 6 hours to put the new gym on the map, if they are able to confirm the details, of course. And this is thanks to the fact that we also don't process the payment, right? Which is
Right.
obviously, if you are a business and you process the payments, this opens new avenues for business models and etc. But I really believe that if you want to provide an alternative solution and you want to scale the solution fast, you need to lower the barrier of entry as much as possible. And this is also why Fitual doesn't charge any commissions for the partner gyms, right? Which is
Gonna-
another big difference
That is
compared to the
huge.
traditional aggregator models.
Yeah, we're gonna get
Exactly.
that is so important, but I want to come back to this other point where not only is it easy to get the gym set up, but they control the pricing. They control the payment directly. Here's what's happening, and I'll talk to you, and you see it in Europe, but it's definitely happening in the States, and there's an uproar, is you have, and no disrespect to these brands, but MindBody and some of these other booking platforms that get connected to ClassPass, and they completely control the payment, the user, the member data, right? There's cannibalization going on, and they're controlling that revenue stream when the gym is wanting the revenue, but it's being sliced and diced before it ever hits the bank account. This is the major problem. And there has been what I would call some greediness from some of these aggregators. Fitual is coming in and saying, gym owner, you get to control the pricing and you get to control the payments directly. Are you getting a lot of great feedback so far in Europe for that?
Yeah, I would say that the feedback has been very positive. The the one let's say drawback that we didn't expect was that actually when we started to reach out to these gyms with our ready solution, they were so used to the old aggregator model, with
Yeah.
taking the fees, and so that it was very hard to convince them
Right.
that this solution can be free for them, right? So we need to explain them that our business model is more based on the user paying the subscription,
Mhm.
and thanks to that, we are able to offer the solution for free to gyms. We only require a small discount, right? They control the pricing exactly, and thanks to that, we are able to onboard them pretty fast and start sending them these first users. So the feedback was very positive, but because it's something new,
Sure.
it needed that additional step of verification and kind of educating the gyms that this is possible.
Amazing. Well, let's talk about the second unlock, right? The second big differentiator is the no commission model. So gym owners typically in are used to these aggregators charging significant fees, again collecting payment first and then it drives into the gym bank account. What you're saying here is the consumer is paying a small annual fee at this time, right? But the gym is not paying a thing. All that you require is they are providing some discount for this day pass usage based user, which I think is going to be a far majority of consumers and members here in the very near future. And I won't give away too many details, but these gyms are already created. The technology is already created and coming to our backyards and to a gym near you. So the no commission is the unlock for the gym partners. What's been the feedback for that?
I would say that the feedback was positive again because this is a new model that they didn't expect. So um because you don't need to go let's say if you're a regional manager, you can sometimes take this decision yourself. You don't need to go above the command chain to get the approval for
Right.
the fees and etc. You just get a small discount and that's it. So I think the main takeaway for me is that this was the unlock to fast onboarding and fast scale,
Hmm.
right? The gyms can take the decision fast because it's a simple model, and also because they control the pricing. Maybe you can speak to that as a CFO.
Yeah,
The financial forecasting for the revenues
exactly.
is probably a bit simpler, right?
Is.
Compared to other solutions when you give up that control of the pricing.
Yeah, you're spot on. Now that they can control with Fitual can control the pricing and payment, the forecasting opportunity is a lot more clear, right? The variance is a lot smaller. And so that makes me think about, what is this incremental revenue opportunity, the monetization opportunity, not even with the leads that you're bringing in, but the share of wallet for those that offer shakes, smoothies, drinks, cafe, spa. You have another opportunity of more people coming into your gym to spend money within within that destination, within that club or studio. I find that to be interesting. How much data have you gathered thus far around what could this revenue stream from a dollars be for a gym owner?
So, I mean, unfortunately, everyone would like the clear answer, but
Yeah,
this is a case by case basis,
right.
right? That's just the reality. So, I mean, what we are saying is that because of the nature of our customer, location is gonna be, responsible for 90% of the outcome, right? If you are in this touristic areas, touristic cities, European capitals, because this is mostly where we are currently, this can be an additional couple percent of your revenue. This is not gonna completely rewrite your model, right? At the core of the gym model, the 30-day or a 12-month membership is still the core, right? But this, I come back to the beginning of our conversation that I believe, based on the learnings of the stories I've seen in Europe, the more diversified your revenue streams, the more flexibility you have in case something goes wrong, right?
Right.
So case by case basis, but we've seen with the best locations a couple percent of additional revenue. Taking into consideration that we are also a very young product on the market. We've only
Sure.
launched, we've been building the network for the last 1 year and a half, I would say. And the app for the users officially launched in June last year, right? So it hasn't been even a year, but we've started sending first customers to the gyms.
Yeah, and Pavel, I'm really excited about this because while today it's, let's say, a couple percentage points or so in regards to revenue as a percentage of revenue, I actually think, and I've been getting a lot of heat for this, is the world is changing because of the technology and AI. Payments are immediate, right? We can see using CCTV nowadays. Go look at Grow Solutions. I'm a huge fan. We can see heat mapping of who's in the club, where they're at in the club, the behaviors. And I really think the consumer is going to force this gym legacy model of a 30-day membership and think we no longer want to pay for things we don't use. On average, the consumer is working out about 8 times per month. Sounds low, but that's the reality, right? And let's call it, in some clubs for power users, there's 12 times a month. So you're telling me I have to pay for the additional 22, right? 22 or 18 to 22 days that I'm not using, and the consumer is now saying no more. I want to pay when I go and I use, not when I don't use. And so, yeah, we know that as the traditional, some call it GWO, guest workout pass or day pass. But the reality of it is that is going to be the expectation. And I think gyms there's going to be an inverse model, is in order for you to continue to get them to come back in, that day pass is going to have to be on a de-escalator, right? It's going to get cheaper and cheaper the more frequency, right? So it's almost like a loyalty program. I think Fitual is positioned for the future, and why I'm so excited to have you on. The other thing that I wanted to ask you, from the data that you've been gathering, is Fitual, and for the gym owner that's listening, is Fitual driving, is this a traffic play? Is this a dollar per pass play? Is this a conversion per membership? Is this what I was mentioning earlier, their ancillary spend, the average revenue per user or member? Are you seeing it in all those categories, or is there one that's most prevalent? Is that the traffic one, or what are you seeing?
So I would say there are two main cases. There is a combination of factors that you've listed here, but what I've seen that was also pretty interesting to me is that if we're talking about individual gyms, individual locations, this is they just want an additional marketing channel, additional acquisition channel, and then they are happy if we bring them new users, right? Just as simple as that, because at the core, Fitual is just a new acquisition channel, right? And we address this issue of the cannibalization. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is we are working already in Europe with some bigger brands, bigger chains, and sometimes those chains also have ambitions for international expansion, right? And what I've been hearing in conversations is that for them, because we give them the access to an international audience, this builds the international brand awareness that they need as well for the expansion, right? And this fits with their story, of going abroad from their main country. So they, for them, this couple, this, the number of visits is less important than the fact that this is an international marketing channel and the brand awareness, and they can build their international brand awareness through that. It fits the expansion story that they have.
I love it. I want to go through, and you just made me think about something, right? When you were talking about how easy it is for the gym owner to get signed up with Fitual and get on the Fitual map. But actually, it's also even easy for the consumer. And I think about ClassPass and some of these aggregators that use this, confusing credit system. And this is public knowledge. ClassPass and some others there was a class action lawsuit because of this. There were some issues going on with how they were decrementing the credits that people were being awarded or paying for. So you do something a little bit different for the consumer. Can you walk us through that around the low-cost subscription model that you have?
Yeah, sure. So basically, if you want to use the Fitual app, you can download it for free from the stores like App Store, Google Play Store, and you can find the gym nearby. because I want the product to be as approachable as possible. I was in my previous works, I was traveling a lot, and the idea that you have, okay, there are some aggregators that work internationally, but not everywhere.
Right.
So you would basically go to Google Maps and try to find the hotel, the gym through that way. But this is, websites in foreign languages. You have to call them, ask if they offer a day pass, for how much. In Europe, offering a day pass is not everywhere a standard, right? There are some gyms that it's a bit harder to get. So like if you are going abroad and you need a hotel, you don't go to Google Maps and search for hotels and then call them, ask if they have a place for your specific dates. You go to Booking or Airbnb because they make the discovery and access process simple. Right, so this is basically what we wanted to replicate with Fitual, and we designed the product in a way that you have the discovery for free. Right, so you can search the nearby gyms, you can see how much does the one-time entry cost, and you can go there. Right, so even for free users, we are able to send you these free users to the gyms. They can go there, but they will not get the discount. So the discount we reserve for our premium users, and to get the discount to generate this one-day pass, and then you go there, you show them that you are from Fitual, and it's seamless. Like they know that you are coming from Fitual, they understand how the process works, and etc. You don't even if you don't know the language. You don't really need to know the language that much because everything is in the email, right?
Yeah.
So we simplify it.
I love it.
With that pass. And this is based on a low-cost subscription. Currently, it's $2 a month. So for $2 a month, I get access to unlimited discounted passes.
Outstanding.
And our aim is that the average discount within our network is higher than the price that you pay per month for the pass. And
That's
currently, this is the case, so that even if you go only once a month, subscription pays for itself through the usage, right?
So good. Yeah, so that's great. I mean, you're not only, and that's the thing, right? With a lot of these aggregators, the consumer is taken care of in a sense of discounting, and you're doing that. You're just doing it in a different way, in a lot easier way. It's not confusing. And then again, you're also benefiting the gym. This is a win-win across the board where currently the aggregator system is unbalanced. Fitual is solving for that. Now, from the data that you have, what are you finding? Where are you finding that Fitual is the best fit for today? Is that the big box gym? Is that the premium and boutique? Is that Pilates? Or these studios that require utilization and booking? What are you seeing?
So I would say that our thesis at the beginning was that we just want to provide quick, easy one-day gym access, right? So wherever I am, I don't really care that much about what gym is gonna be. I just want to have a decent gym to do my workout. At
Right.
least better than, a 4-star hotel when the gym is like I can do 2 steps and that's
Yeah.
it, right? There is
Yeah.
one treadmill there.
One stationary equipment, one piece of cardio, and that's it. That doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want something better, but let's say the budget value category, and this is what we started with, right? So we partnered with some bigger chains, and then kind of if you are a traveler and you're going to that country and you're traveling within that country, if you, let's say, are a business traveler, you also like your routine, right? The travel routine and etc. So you want to also have the workout routine as simple as possible, so to have maybe familiar locations. So if we are talking about chains with multiple locations, if I'm traveling, let's say, within Poland, we have a partnership with Extreme Fitness there with over 120 locations.
Excellent.
So wherever I am in Poland, I can go to this standard establishment that I already know, which is Extreme Fitness, and just do my workout there, right? And everything will work the same. So it's a fast, easy access with these chains. But the feedback we've been getting recently is that people want more and more of this boutique, new experience type studios, because they want to bring the fitness as part of this travel experience, right? So you have this category of the business travelers that want the routine, they just want the nice access. But you also have, I don't know if I would call them leisure travelers, but maybe digital nomads or people that, it's not only about work, but also about the experience of the travel. And, you go, you eat some nice food, you go see some museums. they also want the fitness category to be part of that, discovering something new, right? So they don't want a standard gym when they will just do their workout. They want to try out a new class or, try a reformer for the first time. And this is the request we've been seeing from the users. And this is something that now we are adding more and more throughout our network in Europe. So I would say those are the two categories.
I'm excited. And I think what's going to be layered on that, because a lot of the hotels are starting to expand wellness. I work with a organization called Alchemize House who just signed with the W Hotel. This would be a perfect solution because it is all usage-based day pass business model. And so I think Fitual and Alchemize House will make sure to get that squared away. Now, you are having a lot of traction in Europe, right? I think you'll cross over easily soon the 1,000 gym mark, right? The 1,000 unit mark. And I think what's happening here is the product is focused on travel, simplicity, and the partner economics. It's a win-win all the way around. What has Europe taught you as you've now launched into the US expansion? What have you learned from the Europe experience?
So I would say that our main learning was that um, every market in Europe is very different. You can obviously kind of simplify it the south and the north, but um, boots on the ground is the start. This is not a phone calling and getting
Yeah.
partners. You need the boots on the ground. You need the people to go visit the gyms, talk to the managers, to the owners face to face. Even though you make the process, and the economics super simple, you still need the face there at the gym. So I'm not very bullish on the thesis of AI sales outreach and everything, happening through that. I think in our model, at least, you need the face.
Yeah.
You can use the AI, the automations and etc. as a help with the onboarding, right? And this can, even shorter your onboarding period, make it even easier and faster, but you still need the boots on the ground. And I'm curious to see how does the US compare to that, right? It's maybe compared to some markets in Europe, US is more open to new technologies, maybe new ways of communication, etc. They are a bit less conservative than some parts of Europe. So I'm curious to see how that plays out and what can we learn from the US market, because for sure there is a lot.
Absolutely. There's a huge, vast blue ocean here in the US, and I'm excited to partner with Fitual and Pavel, the owner of Fitual, you being the owner, the founder, behind the scenes. 'Cause I think people would love to hear more about this. We don't necessarily get to hear too much from these other aggregators. It's like a closed vault. But for you, how has it been starting this? What have been the hard parts? A lot of people coming on the show, they not only share the highlights of what it's like to be an owner and a founder, but they also share some of the struggles. It's hard to be an entrepreneur, and why this show has become so popular is people realize, and they like that. They want the authenticity. How has it been for you as you learn through this process, partnerships and onboarding and the product development and the market education? What has it been like? What have been the highs and what have been some of the hard times?
I mean, that's a great question. I would say that a lot of our assumptions at the beginning were just verified by reality, and most of them were just completely not true and not
Mm.
in line with what we were actually what we needed to build. Um, at the beginning, we were our first users, because this is basically where also the idea came from, right? We needed this solution for ourselves, but we had this vision at the beginning for the product to include all of these functionalities and etc. But then the reality verified that, and a lot of the functionalities we built out, let's say in the first closed alpha beta tests, were not used at all. So we needed to scrap them. So I think the main learning from that was that build the minimum possible version and put it out there as fast as possible to get the feedback. You need the iteration loop. You need to fail very, very fast. And now with the tools that are available with the LLMs and AI, they can accelerate that loop, right? Which I think is good. So the faster you fail, the faster you learn. And those were harsh learnings, let's say. I would say,
Right.
we were a young team, still pretty young, but we thought that our assumptions are perfect and we are the ones that are in the right here, and the market just proved us wrong. But we were able to pivot, and I think right now we are on a good track.
Yeah.
I would say that for me, a very big factor is having the right people, mentors, let's say, around. So I was lucky that in my life I had these people that were pushing me forward. I know that there are, some people that are surrounded mostly by the people that are gonna tell you, this doesn't make sense, why are you doing it, and etc. So this is very important to find these people that will back you and they will share the knowledge.
Love it.
And I was lucky enough to find these people, and I still have them. And I think this has been the biggest, the biggest positive factor that I've experienced, because being the CEO or a founder sometimes can be lonely,
Very.
right? So if you have the people through it with which you can bounce back the ideas and kind of get another perspective, this is very important. And if you are the CEO or the founder, it's hard because you don't have these people usually within the company. Those are either, shareholders or co-founders or someone outside that you've met. And I think this is very important. I was lucky enough to have them, and I still have them, and I value them a lot.
Excellent. I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's amazing. Love that you have that support system and those that will, be your filter as well. So good. I love that. And you're right. I can relate with that and those that are entrepreneurs and the business owners listening and watching this, it can get lonely. And so it's good to have that network of that. Such great advice. Now, I'm curious on your thoughts, right? I talked about booking platforms earlier, right? And is that in the roadmap and next plans around the booking integrations and the class reservations? What does that look like? Is that a big opportunity for Fitual?
So we've been hearing the feedback from the partners that they would like to include basically more offerings within the platform, right? So not only one day pass, we have some bigger sport venues that, they have a gym, they have a pool, they have a tennis, paddle court, like these huge establishments. And they would basically take full advantage of Fitual and just offer everything through there, right? But currently, we are still having that narrow focus on simple day passes, either to this nice boutique, new experience studios, or through this, standard gyms. And I think, until we have good coverage in Europe, this is gonna be the case. But that segment, unlocking the booking, it's a huge opportunity, and we are looking at that, and we've seen the feedback from the partners that they wanted. So we are definitely, it's in the works. But then, you first need to take advantage of that simplicity as much as you can to get the scale to a certain level, because it's a problem with every aggregator or every marketplace. You need to have the supply there first before the demand is. So it's hard to bet marketplaces because of that,
Right.
basically, because you need to convince the first partners to join you, even though there is nobody they will have to sell to, right? So I think the simplicity is needed at the beginning to build the necessary scale, and then you start adding on another elements. And I think, coming back to the other aggregator platforms, I think they solve the distribution very well. The problem is that some of the economics got broken in the process,
Right.
right? So now maybe you need to take a step back and see if there is a better way to do it. But chapeau to them, because the distribution that worked very, very well for them.
Yeah, good call. You're right. The distribution model and the partnership with and almost kind of becoming the booking platform, as we've seen, definitely helped. You're right, however, and that's why there's a lot of tension in the States around aggregators is the economics. It is not a win-win overall, right? As far as the balance of it. And Fitual solves that. I'm looking forward, and I know they'll listen to this, but Laura at Walla highly recommend that booking platform, Pavel, as well as Mo Iqbal over at ABC and some others over there. They're great fans. And then I have great partners. I want to give a shout out to Club Ready and Explore. I think those three platforms should be chatting with you ASAP. And I think we'll have a lot of fun in the United States. So let's make it happen. Pavel, for those that want to learn more about you, Fitual, and the team, shout outs to Carol. He's amazing as well. How can they learn more about you and in Fitual and what you're doing?
I think the easiest way is, just go on our website, fitual.com, and you will find everything you need there. There is a tab for gyms, and there is a pretty straightforward explanation. Otherwise, you can DM me on LinkedIn. We are, a small team, so I also, try to bring in as many gyms as possible, and keep in touch with them, gather the feedback constantly, and improve the product. So website or directly me on LinkedIn. Those are your two best bets.
Amazing. Well, I'm excited to partner with Fitual. And for those that didn't know, I do a lot of business in Europe and Canada, obviously the States, in South America, Latin America. And we talked a lot about unit economics. So for the fitness and wellness operators, you're thinking about cash visibility, you're thinking about Fitual, you're thinking about pricing strategy and utilization modeling or capital planning, make sure to reach out to me also on LinkedIn, or you can go to strategointel.com. This has been another episode of The Owner Seat. I'm your host, Albert Ramos. And as I always mention, these episodes drop every Monday and Friday at 8 a.m. Central. Pavel, thank you so much. What time is it over there?
It's 1:40 p.m.
Okay, yeah, we had
currently
a
in
big
Padova, Italy.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking, I know you're traveling a lot and you're very, very busy. Thank you for carving out this time for us. And we're looking forward to Fitual making a big splash here in the States. Thank you for your
Thank you,
time.
Albert. It was a
Okay.
blast.
Yes.